Hey everybody, welcome to Comics Covered, where Matt and I, the co-founders of CoverPrice.com, talk to you about cool stuff that happened in the comic book world this week, as well as talk about the website and just chat with y'all in the comments. How you doing, Mr. Matt?
Good. What are you guys up to? I noticed that we're now a little light and the light and the dark side. I just noticed the juxtaposition between our two settings here.
It matches our personalities, Matt.
Yep.
Not really. Yep. I think you're probably darker than I am.
I don't know.
No, definitely more.
First time I've ever heard that in my life.
How you been, man? How was your week?
Good. We talk every single day, all day long. So fine since the last 10 minutes. But yeah. Yeah, all good.
It's for the illusion, Matt.
I know. That's right. Oh, yeah, man, it's awesome. It's been really good. Yeah,
no, it's too late. Too late. Yeah, no, it doesn't work now.
Well, how are you, John?
The illusion's ruined, Matt. No, doing good.
We started this journey. You got to follow through here.
Fair enough. Doing good. The development team's working hard. We got some cool things coming out. Working on a big database refresh, literally redesigning the entire database. Our back-end developer, Inigo, has told me he has built us the best effing comic book database that's ever existed and probably will ever exist in the future. So that's going to launch in about a month and a half or so, and it's going to completely redo so many cool things on Cover Price. The site's going to be faster. We're going to be able to do more things with lists and like connecting different like bits of content. So that's always fun. That's always cool. What about you?
And thank you for bearing with us with the show as we tweak it and get comfortable in what the show will be. We'd love to ever hear any feedback on what you guys like, what you enjoy seeing us do on the show. Remember, this is not an OnlyFans, so keep it PG.
Yeah, Matt can't show his feet anymore. He got banned.
That's right. Yeah, no more feet pics.
I don't sit in.
Sorry, JD. No, just kidding. I didn't mean to like point you out, JD. You were just the one I saw there. So,
JD, you're awesome, by the way. You're on all. You always come to this little show of ours. So thank you, sir, for showing up.
Yeah, site will be faster. It's true. I mean, again, the site, our little catchphrase is that the site is better today than it was yesterday, and that is the thing. This is a constant project, so the money that we get from our subscriptions literally just goes right back into the site, into the company, just building a better product.
Minus the production value you see here.
Right. So we're saving on the production value here, right, to give you a better product. That's nice. See, that's nice, right?
One thing I'll say is a faster site definitely makes the world go round. We've done so many things. If you guys remember when we started 8 years ago, you'd search for something, or you'd go to your collection section, you'd go make a cup of coffee and come back as everything was being calculated, right? So now I think we are much faster than we were. This update, I am told by the developers who know more than me, that this will become precognitive. You will sit there and think of something and the page will just load it. So that's the promise that they're making to me. So it's the promise I'm passing on to you. So we'll see.
So our plan moving into this show is to basically take you through the articles we covered this week, and then touch upon any major updates. And now we just got something in recently. I guess CGC finally replied to the whole Slabgate stuff. So that's interesting. We might want to talk about that, but we'll see if you guys are interested in that, or if you just want to dig into fun family content and let everyone else, every other show is going to cover the CGC slab stuff. So I don't think you need to hear from us.
Yeah. But before we jump into it, why don't we say what we'll be giving away today?
So I went back to the Witchblade box here, and I forgot we had this red foil San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. It retails for about $50 so it's a nice cover.
It is a cool cover. It's Mark Silvestri and
Silvestri returning to Witchblade.
Yeah. Is it just me, or is every main character now kind of looking like Keanu Reeves more and more?
Well, when you're so awesome like Keanu is,
He is awesome.
he also kind of looks like Steve Aoki. Is that how you say his name?
Oh yeah, yeah.
A little bit. It's kind of like if the two had a baby, that would be the baby.
Maybe they'll have a baby together.
One magical, comic loving, collector loving, music loving, acting loving baby.
This one's going for about $60 right now in the aftermarket.
I just said 45 to 50.
45 to 50.
Yeah, don't you write over. Don't you pump up this book.
I just said 60 when I looked at it last.
Yeah, it was probably, we'll have to, that was probably the last sale. But current prices are now
about 45, 50. All right, Matt, keeping me honest. I like it. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Let's not overinflate the value here.
That's not what we do. So, what's happening content-wise on? So, Matt, as you guys know, Matt runs all of the content of Cover Price. He and his teams are the ones who are putting out about 28 articles per month.
We're going to do more. We always want to take it slow, so we don't. We want to make sure we can keep up with what we're trying to do on a weekly basis. We're also waiting for all that database stuff. We're waiting for a lot of that to be done because it'll help us get access to that data a little easier without bugging our developers constantly for a list of stuff. Right. Because all that stuff takes time. But there is a lot of there's so much information in the back end. Again, we'll show you a few things on the site today of some of that stuff, which it's just fun. All right, let me share my screen here.
I agree. It looked like Sean Connery. I was thinking that Sean Connery.
It does look like Sean Connery.
Well, I'll put it up again just so it's right there. Yeah, I was like, that does look like Sean Connery.
All right, so welcome to the site. I always like to start with the top 10. You could watch the top 10 show, but I always kind of like to look over it and kind of see whatever big trend here that may have not been covered, and where I think some of these will go. I think for Kids Walking to the Bank, it was clear, it's interesting to see people specking on content again. We've been seeing in the past, 6 months, weird reactions to content news. Sometimes books would just take off, like what was that Proof book, that the Sasquatch Men in Black style book, that was hitting $100 because it was just a hard to find book. 4 Kids Walking to a Bank is not an impossible to find book, which is why there was actually a lot of sales for this book. Trending out like 92, I think it was like $20 raw. It's just it's interesting to see people speculating on content. The cast it sounds like they've already gone pretty far in casting and having a director, so that does bode well for it. It should move a little bit faster. So maybe people just feel really confident about it. I thought that was the most interesting thing. This Aliens versus Predator was the Mark Brooks cover. I was shocked at, of course, this 1 in 100, it was trending at now it's moving at 225. But when the top 10 ran earlier, it was selling for about 150. But what was interesting to me was the normal cover was hitting $75.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, usually, I thought it was actually, well, now it's 24, but it hit $75 last week, which was interesting.
Can you blow up that cover real quick so we can see it?
Even $25 is pretty good. 75 was like, what are people doing? I do think it's interesting that they have the 20th Century Studios logo at the top. It is a fantastic cover. I don't think I ever needed a Venom versus Predator, but not Predator. Sorry, Aliens. I just think Aliens versus Predator. They go hand in hand.
Predator, so it's okay.
AVA. But I like how it's Alien versus Avengers, and they're like, let's just put Venom.
Venom makes everything better.
Yeah. But it is a really good. And so the key for this is a new Miles Morales xenomorph symbiote alien costume.
Oh, that's cool. That is cool.
Now I doubt you'll see that in a film ever, but it is pretty cool. Maybe a downloadable skin for something in the future. Um,
Can I call out one thing on the top 10 too? Number 9 right there. So this is generated every week by the week before sales, right? So it's just an algorithm and it goes through, and we just double check to make sure the sales are accurate. But we gave away on last week's call number 9, the grommet number 4 or whatever that was.
Yeah, we gave this away last week. Yep.
So it's cool to see that actually hit the top 10. We give away nice stuff.
Yeah. It's a fun cover. And we also gave away Power Fantasy set. Both these covers. It's interesting. Gaspar, the artist, he's following our top 10 post, and he gets excited and he reshares it, and he's like, "We're still on list." but these 2 books keep flip flopping spots. I kind of feel like it might be its last week on it because sales have settled down a lot on this. I think what is this selling for? $10 right now. Yeah, it's like $8, $9, $10. But I mean, don't go crazy. But I know it's circulating Hollywood right now. So
that's cool.
And that doesn't mean much. It doesn't mean go buy it. But I know that people are looking.
So those of you who don't know, Matt used to work in film with the different studios and stuff, and like he's seen projects start and stop, and a lot of times I was always like, oh, it's got optioned, awesome, and Matt's like, no, wait, it's gonna be like 5.
Well, as a comic collector, I learned my lesson on buying comic content, speculative stuff. So we were in a division where we would get seal the deals that were happening. We were involved in a lot of the deals. So that when a book would pop up, I'm like, I'm going to go run out and buy like 20 of these books. And then every time the deal would fall through. And I would then eventually, after sitting on piles and piles of books that never went anywhere, finally learning my lesson, I just never did it again.
I remember you said, hey, John, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. What was it? Skybound? Skyward?
That was one of the films I brought into Sony.
Yeah.
And he's Skyward, it was an Image book. Yeah.
And I was like, this book is going to be huge.
I mean, it's a really great book, and it did take off, and it did get optioned. It's just been stuck in option hell for the past 4 years.
Yeah. I have 20. I'm 20 covers deep in that one, so I'm.
Well, I mean, this is the thing. Like, there's things that don't show up in the trades. It was purchased by officially, so usually they option it, and then they extended, and then COVID hit. And that gave them an extra extension. Sony did purchase it earlier this year, but that was never announced. Now that still doesn't mean anything because now they could. That just means they could sit on it or sell.
Isn't it true? Sometimes they just buy it so no one else can make it, and then
they have another concept that conflicts with it. They'll just buy it to kill it. Yeah. That happens all the time.
To be a big
again, it's like it's muddy waters. So when you see something like 4 kids walk into a bank, when there's cast and talent, directors and writers already attached to it, it's already probably in active development, if not bound for production. So again, this is a book that was been stuck in back issue. This was rumored, I think, 4 years ago. So this book took off back then. So this fell back down to earth. You could have bought this for $5 2 weeks ago. Sorry, go for it.
No, I was just saying. So then, is your advice then like you hear something gets optioned, wait until you see casting, wait until you see a little more?
Well, yeah, usually casting. If you have casting and they have a full crew, that's the time. If it's a producer that picked it up, just stay far away. Because usually those producers are just shocking it around. That's typically, but if there's cast and it's a full cast, they're committed to it. So that's a good sign. But what I would just tell people, don't buy them online unless you're like first to eBay. I mean, these are literally sitting in dollar bins, back issue bins for sure. And there's a lot of good variants. If you're lucky to find, I'll go into it. Now, a lot of retailers got this preview book. So typically, if some weren't paying attention to it, it looks just like the regular cover. So it could be sitting. And what's nice about it is if you're flipping through a box, you wouldn't notice it. So if you're flipping, you're like, oh, hey, this book is selling for $10. You want to look right down here. A sneak peek for our favorite retailers is right at the bottom there under the eyes. This is selling for $400 near mint raw.
Get out
So
your red pen and write that in yourself.
yeah. I mean, it literally, well, this whole box fills up the space on the regular cover. So this is why I like going to your comic book shop and just looking in the back issues to see if they have this book, and then just double checking to see if it has that sneak peek at the bottom. That's kind of the fun stuff to look for.
It is fun. It's a scavenger hunt, you know.
Yeah, it's easy money. So if you maybe that's still marked at like $20, like they maybe marked it like 2 years ago. It's a good book. Let's see what it's actually selling for on eBay right now. Some auctions going on. Let's do a sneak peek. Yeah, they're all gone. They're not on there. It's just this one on eBay right now. So there's none sitting there. Yeah, because they were limited to 200. So yeah, great book to look for. If you can find it, congrats. Definitely go out there and dig. They are absolutely out there. The fact that we've only seen a handful hit the aftermarket just tells me that they're literally sitting at shops. So that's the tip of the day is go look for that book.
Good tip.
The other things we did, so this week let's go to our content page. You could also find it down here, down at the bottom. But in our content page, we do a new comic book day. We do our Shaker report that just came out today. We did a crowdfunded article. We'll get to that, and we'll go to that real fast. We do a top 10 reflective, which we're going to cover on Monday. So we won't jump into that, but come back on Monday. We'll do a live show, and we'll do that full list on Monday, and our day after Wednesday. Now we've had a lot of complaints over day after Wednesday because people are asking why is it only variants? Actually, let's just skip into that right now. We'll just jump into it. And why aren't there regular ones? And the honest answer is there's not a lot of regular books trending right now. The only one was the Power Fantasy, which we covered in our top 10. So these books are, typically these are the books that are moving at a higher ratio, at a higher price because they're harder to find, high ratio. I mean, that's how the market goes. Someone asked if we can go back and look through a month of traction. And other than the Power Fantasy, that was the only A cover to trend for the month. And again, we covered it, so it wasn't really, these are ones to watch are just kind of like covers we think are kind of cool. Maybe to take a second look at. Brian Boland, you either love it or you hate it, but I like it. I like his crazy Poison Ivy. This is very Rick and Morty-esque to me with, what was his name? Q? Is that his name?
Q?
Wasn't that the name of the guy from Star Trek? The crazy godlike guy.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, anyhow, I think. And this was kind of the fun cover. It has this is basically Reed Richards becoming Doom.
That is cool.
Yeah. So I think that was not just Reed Richards, but evil Reed Richards. What's his name?
Maker.
The Maker. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So if you didn't read the Ultimates line where he becomes the Maker, where he tries to kill Sue Storm, and then the whole Marvel, all the Marvel characters go after him and just kick his ass and send him to the negative zone, is really freaking good. It's so good. And then he's just like, he just comes back with a vengeance. Anyway. All right, how are we doing in the comments there? Yeah. The other thing to kind of tap into, so the crowdfunded one, the point of this one, if you guys haven't looked at it, is just to call out, like, we see it all the time. A Kickstarter will happen, it goes quietly, no one talks about it. And then they hit the aftermarket and they sell for hundreds because there's like either a cool concept or what is very popular lately is that people will pick up the book and do a proper distribution, whether it's Image or Oni or, someone will pick up the book, and then those Kickstarters are really hard to find, especially if it's a good variant. So we covered a bunch of different books for you to check out that we thought were pretty cool, that offer some good incentives. There's Blood and Coin. We got what's it? Build City Street Fight. If you're into
Lucha Libre.
Yeah, this is a really fun book from Parts Unknown. They got, this is a fun kind of like Super NES WWE homage. I mean, that's the thing. If you like homage covers, it's kind of fun to get in on these. Kismet is a really interesting series. I kind of like it. Kind of reminds me of oh man, I'm blanking on that other horror cooking comic.
Horror.
Love Spell is Jonathan Luna. If you don't know the Luna brothers, they did like Girls, and they did oh man, I'm trying to think of what I just can't. Girls is the one that sits in my brain all the time. Have you read Girls?
Not Paper Girls, just
no. So it's basically this spaceship lands and a girl walks out, and and she wants to mate with the first guy she sees, and it's basically Walking Dead, but with this one girl and all the clones and like all the offspring. It's a crazy.
That's
crazy
exactly what happens. That's how that first contact will happen.
Yeah. Shall we mate? Yes.
That's how they make men so gullible. They're like,
what could go wrong?
Okay. Is that your spaceship? Can we do it in there? Yeah, no, it's not a good idea. Don't have sex with aliens.
Yeah,
that's
the second tip of the night. Don't have sex with aliens. Yeah.
His name is X1 has a question. Doesn't Jim Mahfood have something on Kickstarter? Do you know if he
it's a good question. Here's a Justin Jordan Zero Ghost. This was a really cool book. I would take a look at just because look at this cool J Lee cover here.
That is cool.
Yeah. That's a good question. I mean, heck, we're here. We could do it now. Let's go to From Parts Unknown. We'll spaceship into.
Yeah, JD, I was thinking the same thing. That movie Species. I mean, like
it is Species, but kind of, but crazier. It's Species meets Walking Dead. That's
so all the babies she makes then become like little, like
just more clones of her. Yeah, and then they're trying to mate with everyone. Like it's nuts. It's nuts. And they're just shotgunning, and at the end they're just taking them all down.
Special service announcement for like STDs. It's like a PSA.
Oh, it's a crazy book. And the Luna Brothers, I think they got into some hot trouble in the past. Yeah, so Jim Mahfood's Pop-Up Funk. I think the one thing we don't always do, if it's a trade paperback, we don't usually feature it because we don't track trade paperbacks, but that could be something we need to change.
Well, the two things we need to do, honestly, is trade paperbacks, omnibus, hardcover, but also signature series. We do get a lot of people saying, how much is my signature series worth? And, we always kind of shy away from it because it's like, well, you might have a weird combination of artist signatures on a book that unless there's other sales, all of our stuff is based on aftermarket trends and stuff, so it's hard to
this is a good call. So this one I think it's not technically a true Kickstarter. It's basically you can go and pre-order them through it. Maybe they did, maybe it closed, I don't know. It doesn't look like you can actively get into it right now because everything seems closed, so it might be closed now. Wow, look at that. That's cool. That's like a pop-up cover for Girl Scouts. If you haven't read Girl Scouts is another crazy, like that is true Mahfood work there. And if you haven't looked up on YouTube, basically they shot basically a sample of what we're going to turn into a show, and it's actually pretty fantastic. So look up Girl Scouts on YouTube. With GRRL, not the regular Girl Scouts, because then you're just going to buy cookies. We're not pushing you into cookies. Wow, I love pop-up stuff. No one's done a pop-up variant. Maybe that should be a thing.
Ooh,
You know,
that's
anyhow.
really cool. But
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
is it gonna fit in your bag and board? I mean, I don't know.
You know, again, this is if you find cool stuff, let us know and we'll feature it. Just send us an email. Like this was really, I'm bummed we missed this. This would have been a great one to feature. So yeah, read these articles. It's basically all it is like, we don't have these on the site yet because they don't exist. We don't put them on until they actually are printed and shipped and people have them in hand. Once people get them in hand, then we can add them to the site, because then they're a real comic, right?
Keeping in mind, Cover Price is adding like literally about 2,000, 2,500 new comics to the site every single month. Yeah, so it's
but this is where you can support indie creators, literally helping people survive. So, and it is a good way. Like you get a lot of great perks. I try to support any that we can when we can.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're all about supporting the industry and just kind of celebrating comics. That's
it. Just help independent creators. You can choose the levels of stuff that you want to do. I always go for my favorite cover and the rarest version of it. What else do we want to talk about? The day we kind of covered it. These are kind of one, you know.
Well, what would you say the difference is between those two, the New Comic Book Day and the
New Comic Book Day? It's a good question. So New Comic Book Day will feature. This is if you're a speculator, and I don't think a lot of people speculate on new comics anymore. I know that people do lightly, but not the same way that it was there, like 2014, 2013, 2014 was like crazy. Right. So the difference is all we're doing is highlighting what books have something notable, something that you might not want to miss out because they'll fly under the radar for one reason or another. If you're an absolute Power fan, hey, this is a cameo appearance of these new characters, right? The whole point is to take them and tuck them away. First appearance of Bronze, a new X-Men character. I know there's a ton of new X-Men characters all the time, but again, they hit. Some of them hit. It's like the Spider character. Some of them hit. Some of them don't. It's one of those things. Like our whole point is get them while they're $3.99, $4.99, and you know, so you don't have to pay a premium for it down the road. Origin of the Eldest, first cameo of a child who's confirmed to be related to the Spider-Man master. You know, there's just a lot of good information that our writer Lefteros. I don't know if Lefteros is in the chat, but Lefteros is I don't think anyone has his ear to the ground better than Lefteros. So if you're not following him on Instagram, if you're not paying attention to these, like this is just like if you want some free, I know I hate the term free cornbread, but this is free cornbread.
I like cornbread.
So hey guys, I gotta step away for just a sec, but I'll be John, you want to drive for a second?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Matt's dog sounds like he was going a bit crazy. All right. Where were we? It's the John show now. So one thing, notice how Matt's little icon here is RoboCop. We found something else about Matt today that I've known Matt, 30 something, 40 years, 30 years. And he just revealed that he loves robots and humans when they're combined because of RoboCop. And he was like, we were talking about it. I'm like, so your thing is like cyborgs. You're in like the genre that you love to read about, cyborgs. And then we went down the rabbit hole and we're like, okay, what about like Cable? No, that's the techno-organic virus. I'm not into that. I'm like, okay, so it has to be like a man-made robot connected to a human in some way that it augments them. Yes. So that's what we learned about Matt. One thing I wanted to show as Matt was doing that is if you're not familiar with the new release section on Cover Price, all of the stuff that we've been showing, let me make that a little bit smaller. All the stuff that we've been showing, it's super easy to get to and kind of do your own analysis. You know, if you want to, for example, if you want to go to last week's comics or even this week's, you can click on that and see what the estimated highest value is. And, you know, our writers go in here all the time and look to see, okay, well, what's everything selling for now? You know, and it's a good kind of way to go back into your shop and be like, oh, okay, obviously read it for the story, fall in love with the characters and everything. But it's also fun to know, like, oh, this one variant for this one story really is trending up. So you can do that here. And just take a look at those. We also have other filters like current market trend, only number ones. If you just want to see all the number ones that have come out, this, and by that, you know, the title cover is number one, and you can turn off the variants. So now you can just be like, okay, let me see. These are all number one issues. I have it filtered by, here, let me clear that real quick. Turn that off, and then go to number ones. So now it's not searching for highest estimated value. So now you can go by publisher and just go, okay, Marvel's having these new characters coming out. You know, Image is having these. So there's a ton of stuff like that that you can get into. And then just getting back into the content, a lot of fun stuff. So we talked about the difference between, so New Comic Book Day is stuff that's coming out on Wednesday. This one, the day after Wednesday, is an old article Matt used to write for another website, and it was all about like what hit, like what was the lightning in the bottle that kind of happened that week. So that's fun. And let's talk about the Shaker report real quick. So as you guys know, this one is the one that Laura and everybody talk about on Thursday, where the YouTube show on Thursday, yesterday. But some of the stuff they don't cover, we can go through real quick. So this one is Hellcat number one. That was cool. That one actually had a huge sale this week for about $1,500. And that was the Patsy Walker character that you see in, she was in Jessica Jones. She was Hank McCoy's assistant. Anybody here like the Hellcat character? I don't know. I've never been a huge fan. I thought her costume was always kind of weird and lame, but still fun. Still fun. You know, there's always the political stuff. One thing to keep in mind, we talked about like political comics a couple weeks ago, because I think there was some Trump stuff. You know, comic books, if you were here for the presentation I gave on the history of comics in the different eras and whatnot, you'll notice that like political comics and political satire has been a huge part of comics since the Victorian age. I mean, that's pretty much where comics kind of originated. So, you know, it's kind of fun to see how, you know, current trends and whatnot make its way into the comic book world. So yeah, Derek never connected with Miss Patsy Walker. I hear you. Yeah, she was good. Was she in She-Hulk or was she in Jessica Jones? Oh wait, she was. I'm messing everything up in my mind. Hey, Matt,
all right, guys.
How's the dog?
It's just there's always something happening at this house. There's always something going on.
I shared. It was Jessica Jones for Patsy. I shared with everybody that we just found out that you like cyborgs today.
Oh yeah. One second. Sorry, 1 second.
All right, and it's back to John's show. Awesome. She gets no love. Yeah. So Shaker Report has a bunch of, I never knew that existed. Very interesting show to list. Thank you, Derek. Yeah, you know, Matt and his team do a good job of like not covering stuff that everybody already knows. They actually do go after stuff that they're like, oh, now that's an interesting sale. The cool thing about Cover Price is because we're pulling in so much sales data, we literally have a buffet of options because we just sort our database by like, well, what had the biggest sales this week? And you can do that on the website as well. Like you go to the Shaker page, you can go to the hot list and stuff like that and see all of that stuff. But, you know, we have all the tools to do that. So it just, they look through that and they quickly find stuff that just seems interesting and whatnot. So it's pretty cool. All right. Charmed. Did anybody here watch Charmed? I was a big Buffy guy back in high school and whatnot.
It's the power of three there. I mean, these Charmed, we were doing the Shaker. Like, what's fun is just like I was telling Mr. Longshort, like there's a bunch of stuff on this list that I didn't even know that existed. And I didn't like, there's sometimes some books take off. This second Charmed series, it was like, it's basically season 10 of the show. which is pretty. I guess a lot. It does bring in a lot of like charmed fans that are not typically comic book fans. What was that, Chris?
No, just like, yeah, I think that was the main reason why it did so well. In the write-up, they were saying that when it premiered, the first episode, it got like such rave reviews, and it was 3 hot witches. You know, who doesn't like that?
They should have just called it that, right? But
3 hot witches, yeah.
Anywho, so but yeah, those are selling for like $100. But
oh yeah,
just that I know we got a lot to cover here. The one thing I wanted to jump into, John, if you don't mind going down to G.I. Joe. So G.I. Joe, this is what we're going to talk about just for the site, some of the features that we're adding. If you scroll down a little bit more, so this was part of IDW's Rock Tour poster variant set.
oh yeah.
They did it through across all their titles, whatever month this was released. It just says the year there, but if you go to the book, but there should be an active link in there that says click there to see the full set. And now we have like basically we've been bundling these things together. So this is something like if you want to see the full set, it'll be connected like this. So you can see all the books in that set, which ones are the most valuable. And what I kind of like to look at this would be like wow, all these are selling for $100 plus, and then there's some that are selling for like $5. You know.
Oh my goodness! Look, I didn't know the Prince. So when I saw this, I was just like, "That's so cool! I love it when they do a good homage."
No, that's a very expensive. That's a very expensive book.
Yeah,
like it is.
Here it says 800.
So pricey.
Jeez.
And that Baroness cover is extremely rare.
By the way, quick call out so we just added this feature. We're trying to make the site easier for everyone to get to the information they want. There's an update coming that's going to put this throughout the entire site. But right now, if you get to the series page, you can literally click on this little cool icon, and it'll just pull up the price table for you right there. So you don't even have to go into the book to see it. You could just pull it up anywhere.
If you want to like read more, if you want to know more about this book, you can read the article, or you can watch the Shaker Show from last night, as JD said. So you're already on YouTube, so you can just go to the Shaker Show.
So let's see if Matt knows what cover are they homaging with this one, Matt.
I forget. It says in the article. Oh, that one? That's Jimi Hendrix.
Okay. I mean, this one's obvious. This is a good old Nirvana.
Yes, never mind.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's a Bowie. That's a David Bowie.
David Bowie. Yeah, it says Bowie homage. Okay.
Oh, and then what was that, Biggie?
This one?
What was that one? Yeah.
Oh, I don't think it's Biggie. Is it Biggie?
No, it says it in the article. I'm blanking on it.
This is
Sergeant Pepper.
Yeah, Sergeant Pepper. So I'm trying to zoom and it just zooms in hard. Ghostbusters.
I forget which one that one is. It's super odd.
It says it's a Rush homage. Rush? You know the band?
Oh, Rush.
Yeah.
No, that's not it. That's Heart.
Can you do that again, Matt? What was that?
I forget what this was a homage. People said that it's just a Woodstock vibe, but no, it's something specific, and I can't remember. Does it say on the? Because I had our team add in what the homage was for.
Yeah, this one Woodstock homage.
If it says Woodstock, okay.
What up, Lando? How you doing? Good to see you.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a fun set. It's a very expensive set. The Metallica Justice for All. Homage is pretty great. So this was one that was kind of part of it, but kind of not. So it's the Abbey Road one, right? But behind it is San Diego Gaslamp.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because this was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive.
This person doesn't know how to park, apparently. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So so that's kind of fun.
Yeah, that is cool. That is cool.
It does. That last cover did seem kind of Grateful Dead. You know, in fact, I wonder if I need to
this one.
My uncle is a Deadhead, so I should probably know this.
I mean, this is the Abbey Road classic kind of scene, but yeah.
It's kind of it doesn't. I mean, it is kind of Grateful Dead-esque. but nothing jumps out at me.
Which one's the Misfits?
G.I. Joe.
The G.I. Joe one. Okay. Oh yeah, duh. It says right there, Misfits. I should read our own stuff. Thank you, Esquire. Oop.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So if you go into the article, like, so right now, the only way you can kind of find this stuff is if you go to the article and that the set is in there, but it will be searchable in the future. And I basically, when you go to like this book, it'll say it's part of the IDW Rock Tour set. And then you could click on that and it'll take you to the full set.
So that's an example of what we're working towards in terms of like gathering the information and making it like snackable for everybody. So imagine being able to say like, oh, I'm into shark covers. I'm into milkshake covers. We'll start tagging that and make comprehensive lists of all those things so you can get your collection on.
And there'll be like multiple sets, like those Beatle ones. There could be Beatle homage covers, right? That could be a whole different thing, even though it wasn't part of like this was a very specific theme month that IDW did, so it's part of that set. But then there will be other descriptors that some of these books could fall into.
I fear we're opening a can of worms. Like if you with like the slicing and dicing of homages and like trends and what people collect, it's gonna take forever.
This is kind of a fun. I feel like we're kind of turned into a cover collecting market again, right? We're really going after books we like, and a lot of them is not going for necessarily books that will have immediate or even short term or even long term aftermarket value. Basically we're just buying the stuff you like. You're collecting the sets you like, and that's what kind of those niche groups, like people are buying bubblegum covers and like Mr. Longshort, that's his thing. That's not necessarily because he's buying them because it's going to be ultra valuable. It's because like, hey, this is a thing that it's fun to do. It's fun to chase. I think that's the main thing. It's fun to have something to chase. And I think it's kind of and then every now and then you'll come across a very rare version of those that are like the hardest ones to get. I'm buying covers I like. Yeah. I mean, and that's why digging is so much fun, because you'll come across books you never knew you liked, as you're digging through. That's actually the whole point of the Shaker article, is to highlight books that, I think we said this last week, is to highlight books that you've never seen before, that while they're very rare and hard to find, some of them could be sitting in back issue bins. Anywho, hey, 1 second. I'll be right back again. Sorry,
Matt.
Sorry.
I'm trying to find. We have a window shades. You said you do the window shades. One of our team members does too, and we put a list. I can't find it right now. I was trying to hack the system because we don't have it on for visible for everybody, but I'm trying to find it. But we're going to create a list for that as well. So window shades and all that. Whoops. Yeah, I mean, collecting for covers isn't a bad idea. Like I love that. I mean, I think it's fine to go in there and actually like you look at the cover. The problem with cover price is when you see the covers, you start building that memory for it, and you're like, oh, I love that cover. And it's like a comic that's not worth anything, but you just see it. I don't know. I always see them as pieces of art. It really is. It's just this cover that kind of captures that emotion. There's some nostalgia behind it. There's all these things. It's magic. Let's see what else. A DC Universe logo, Green Lantern cover, interesting. They probably talked about this on the show last night, but Scotty Young doing some amazing artwork here. I love seeing his other stuff. Like the babies stuff is cool, but like when you see him as an actual artist, it's really neat. And I think they even called out that we talk about Scotty Young too much. We're back coverage of Scotty Young, so that's fun. But yeah, Scotty Young's cool. This one was interesting. Night of the Living Dead, the prelude. So back in 1991, they were saying that when this movie came out, the first one in 19...
Yeah, this was a book that I never knew existed. It was like, I think the film came out in 56, 53?
Yeah, way back. I'm trying to read it real quick.
Like I never knew. So we actually had the Night of the Living Dead 1 pop up in our feeds. And we're like, well, that's interesting. And then we're kind of digging around. That must be the first one. And they were like, oh no, this Prelude one came out a month before. So it gets the honor of being the first. It's honestly the better cover, anyways. So it is cool. Like I like this cover better than issue number 1. But they're both good to get. I mean, literally these sales happen from different sellers on the same day. So obviously the buyer got both of them. And I honestly thought those are actually great prices. If I knew those existed, I would have bought those.
Yeah, this one though, I think it was 144 for the issue number 1. And this one's
I mean, it's still a book. You can find it near mint right now for probably 30, 40, maybe. I think there's more eyes on it now, clearly. So, but yeah.
Did you ever watch Night of the Living Dead, the TV show? Of course, right? I mean, the movie.
I'm a huge fan of the Night of the Living Dead series. Like I watched all of them. Dawn, like George Romero. Anything George Romero did with this franchise, I watched it. I absolutely loved it, especially the Dawn of the Dead, and the one where they're in the mall. I think that's Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
And then I liked. I mean, they're all good. I enjoyed them all. There's actually they were supposed to do. George was supposed to do another film called Empire of the Dead, which they released off of under Marvel. They actually released the Empire of the Dead comic, and that comic is pretty awesome. And it was heavily speculated when it came out because there was supposed to be a film on it, and it just never came back to it. But that has some extremely rare variants for it. That series.
That was just, I mean, zombies, man. Like the one thing I always didn't like was how slow they moved, and they're just like. But that's the whole thing. They're the golem. They're this thing that will never stop until you're eaten. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There people are talking about on the show. Did you watch the Shaker Show last night?
Me, no, I didn't see it.
Yeah. So Chris, aka Dr. Yo-Yo, told everyone that he has like an irrational or rational fear or whatever of zombies. Like he can't deal with them. Like he can't look at this. He can't like he like was like I gotta like this is everything. This is everything I got to just cover this book.
So now you never
about zombies, like So yeah, rule number 1: cardio. Yes, good Zombieland quote. I enjoy Zombieland too as well. I thought that was fun. I know the zombie market. It's still going. So we got like 12 minutes left here, and we did not touch upon Masters of the Universe yet.
Get into Masters of the Universe. Let's do it.
Yeah. So let's throw up the giveaway real quick. We'll throw up so you guys can start submitting.
All right. So I'm curious. Well, I mean, you don't have to do it, but I just gave it away. He clicked it without even thinking. Red foil. Type in #red foil if you would like a chance to win this amazing Mark Silvestri Witchblade #1 red foil variant from San Diego Comic-Con. That's my announcer voice. But yeah, you have good odds. 33 people watching, so be sure to.
I mean, this is the best odds. Like other people give away like $10 books. It's funny. It drives me nuts when I see like publishers giving away. Like we're doing better giveaways than the publishers are. So,
if you like Keanu Reeves and Sean Connery and
right.
then this.
I don't know who the girl would be, but let's say Jennifer Love Hewitt just for fun.
Just for fun. Why not? All right, I can see
that
it.
would be wishful thinking for me.
Kind of wishful, yeah. All right, well, we'll leave that up. Matt, what's going on? So Matt is a huge Motu fan. If you guys don't know Matt, I mean anything 80s really. It was like Mega Man, Nintendo, anything, Masters of the Universe. That was my franchise. And apparently Cyborgs as well. So real quick question.
I love RoboCop.
Quick question for you, Matt. You said zombies dead, cyborgs on dead people. What about what was his name? Deadlock? That from Marvel? That character?
Yeah, never liked Deathlock.
Deathlock, that's what it was.
Yeah, never cared for Deathlock at all.
Fair enough.
So what I want to get into, this was announced this week, was Alison Brie. It's going to be Evelyn in Amazon's He-Man movie.
Cool. I like her.
I love Alison Brie, but I don't know if I feel her in this role because she's kind of, Evelyn is, she's pretty hard. But
Ooh.
I'm open to it because she'll be going across from Nicholas Galatazine. Is that how you say it? Galatazine? I think that's how you say it. It's this dude. Again, I don't know. I don't quite see him as He-Man, but who knows? But when I was at Sony, what was the let's see, who was it? I think I looked this up when it was option at Sony. It was the Knee Brothers. So I was talking to the Knee Brothers when we were there and what they were planning to do, and oh my god, the script was terrible. Like, it's so bad, and I hope they moved away from that script because it was basically like they Superman He-Man to our world, like Skeletor's encroaching on, like is going to take over Eternia, and they send baby He-Man to our world where he has to live as an orphan and has no idea who he is. And then basically he's like working as a miner in Alaska, and he's a gamer. And then the sword finds him, and he gets port-keyed into like, that's a Harry Potter reference. They get sucked to Eternia, and then he's got to like, the whole movie is just like, oh gee willikers, I'm just a normal guy,
Well, basically, Luke Skywalker,
Yeah.
Kal-El.
Yeah, I'm not the hero you need, and then it's that journey to become, and then at the end he becomes the character and then fights Skeletor. That was the original script, so I hope that it's not this one.
The only thing about Alison Brie is that with Community, and she was good in Glow. She did that, like the female wrestling style, and she was kind of more whatever. But she's maybe too much of a fun character. Are they making it?
That's kind of what I was thinking. But I'm open to seeing what she can do on it. I'm hoping that they pivoted a lot from that project. And who knows? I mean, I could see him. You put some blonde locks on him, and you kind of get a little He-Man there.
Do you think he can be He-Man without the little Dutch boy haircut thing?
The page boy haircut.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. So Sony struggled with it because they couldn't wrap their head around the concept of Masters of the Universe, and for that reason, everyone looks at it as barbarians in space, right? And I always saw Eternia as this world where nature and technology flowed together. That was probably the more modern view of Masters of the Universe, and that's how you have all these characters. That's like where these half animal, half humans. They all live together is because this separation of nature and technology wasn't there. Those lines were blurred. And I mean, Masters of the Universe is like, try to find any franchise that has more diverse characters than Masters of the Universe. You can't. Like, there's nothing can touch it because it's like every character was designed to have a different aesthetic, a different backstory, and a different weapon, and a different like they were designed to be toys that stood out from the next one. It wasn't just like, hey, here's a bunch of Jedis, they all look like Jedis. Here's a bunch of robots, they all look like, there's just different variations of those robots. They were definitely like, I'm very sensitive over this brand.
Yeah.
I hope they could do it justice. I'm pulling for them, but I just want I want it to be good. I think it's there. It's hopefully what's that?
It could be. Did you watch the Kevin Smith Netflix animated series?
No, because I heard mixed things about it, and then they kind of killed He-Man at the end of it. I always liked the 2000 storyline. I thought they did a pretty good job of basically they gave Skeletor an origin as Keldor. He was the brother of He-Man's dad. And then Prince Adam was younger. Like I want to say he was like 14-ish. So that when he transformed, it was a more dramatic transformation. Like I don't know if you ever remember Twisted Toy Fair that Wizard used to do.
Yeah.
And it was at Skeletor's lair. One of my favorite bits was at Skeletor lair. He was like, it was like people I hate was on his wall, and it had a picture of Prince Adam and it had a picture of He-Man right next to it. And he was like walking past, and he was like, it was like, wait, they're the same. it like just dawned on him like that they were the same person, because it's the exact same face. It's just like neck up. It was just like slightly purple, then it was like bear. But it was Twisted Toy Fair. Twisted Toy Fair was definitely one of the best He-Man projects. So you can actually look up. I think Robot Chicken actually did that bit, because Robot Chicken was kind of like an extension of Twisted Toy Fair. And it's Toy Fair too. Toy Fair was fantastic. I loved it just as much as Wizard. Yeah.
Some funny comments. Yeah, Toy Fair was good. Robot Chicken's great. I love it when they do their Star Wars stuff on with Emperor Palpatine. They did this.
Yeah. I wish we could add the clip. I'll see if I can find it, but it's fantastic.
Yeah. So guys, red foil, hashtag red foil. Sounds like a game. Be sure to type it in. We got 28 entries and there's 38 people watching. If you want to win a awesome free Witchblade comic, this one in particular, just type that little hashtag red foil. And don't forget, if you are kind people, like and subscribe. Make sure you just help us out. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, follow for cool content and all that.
I missed this comment. Derek asked best Motu toy line besides the original. I mean the 2000 line was fantastic. What were they called? The four apocalypse. There was like the horsemen, the four horsemen. I think that was their name. They were toy designers, the four horsemen. I think that's what they're called. It's been a while. Their sculpts for those figures are amazing. What they did, the designs they did on those figures were fantastic. So the 2000 Masters of the Universe toy line was really, really sweet. But
nice. All right. Well, let's do this giveaway then. If you are not in there, be sure to type it in right now. Let me share my screen.
Let's roll it.
All right. Hashtag red foil. So the way it works, you guys are old pros now. You guys know what we do. If you win, just reach out to either me or Matt or John at coverprice.com. Or if you want to talk about the website, you can reach out to us. Or you can DM us on the Instagram feed and let us know who you are. You do have to let us see. You don't have to be a Cover Price member, but it helps us verify who you are so you can't just fake it. All right, we're at 30. There's 9 people who are driving. Don't crash, but type in hashtag red foil.
Thanks, Derek.
A couple more seconds. And again, thank you guys for congregating and spending this Friday with us.
And please like and share it and come back. We do a show on Monday and Tuesday and Thursday and Friday. So
and if you have ideas of what you want us to talk about, I mean,
if you like,
is really for us to just chat and hang out. And I mean, Matt and I talk every day, but we never just get to like hang out. It's all work. So it's kind of fun to do that.
And there's so much to cover. Like I would have loved to talk about the CGC stuff, but sometimes it's just fun to talk about comics.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole point. All right, we're gonna do it. Here we go.
We should do a site member giveaway. We haven't done one in a while, and so you're right. We should do one.
That's true. We used to do those all the time back in the day.
We did them all the time. We did them every other month. We were pretty frequent with it, but we've just been heads down everything we're doing these days.
We're busy making an amazing website for everybody.
I know, right? But he's right. We should do it.
All right, here we go. Drawing 3, 2, 1. Who's it going to be? Who's the lucky winner?
Wanderlust channel. That sounds fun.
Yeah. Concrete Sando.
Oh, there you go. I'll save on shipping. Concrete. Thank you. I think Concrete. Didn't you win the Witchblade book for the last time? Weren't you the winner of the Witchblade set?
I have to check my notes.
There's more Witchblade. There you go. There's
Hey, Concrete Sandals. Congrats.
There you go. That makes it so much easier. I love that. If everyone could just keep winning, like the same people. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, with 30 people, your odds are pretty darn good. So, don't tell your friends, whatever.
Yeah. I think we've built this against our.
I know, right? No one wants it. They're like, sure, we'll tell people.
Yeah, we'll tell people. Small.
Right.
All right. Well, on that note, Matt, do you have any final?
We'll see you Monday. We'll see you for the Reflective. We're going to go back 2 years later.
Oh, that's right. We're doing that on Monday night, right? What time?
Yeah, Monday at 6 o'clock. Oh no, we did it at 9 o'clock. 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock.
A little bit
later. All right, we'll see you guys.
All right, thanks everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. If you're out on the West Coast or anywhere else in the world, stay cool because it's going to be hot for the next few days. I'm already sweating right now. So have a great weekend, everyone, and keep those comics covered.
Right.